At 2:13 a.m., the stillness of the suburban home is unbroken, except for the faint hum of Lucas Hayes' work laptop. Half asleep and thinking is an automated system alert, he reaches over to dismiss the notification. But the moment he clicks, his entire world shifts. In front of him are photos, vivid, intimate, undeniable, showing Amelia, his wife of 10 years, wrapped in the arms of another man in a hotel lobby. Her smile in the picture is carefree, the same smile that once made Lucas feel chosen. Attached is a chilling message. She's been cheating on you. You deserve to know the truth. His breath locks in his chest. He tries to blink away the reality, but the images remain. His hands tremble, not with anger, but with sheer heartbreak. Lucas sits frozen in silence, staring at the glow of the laptop, the light that just shattered his life. Morning arrives like a cruel joke. Sunlight floods the kitchen, bright and warm, mocking the storm inside Lucas. Amelia hums softly while making breakfast, dressed casually, her smile effortless and familiar. She kisses his cheek, asks if he slept well, and laughs about him working too many late hours. Lucas forces a smile, swallowing words that burn in his throat. Every movement she makes feels suddenly foreign, too happy, too normal, too perfect. He watches her pour coffee into the mug he loves, the tiny domestic gestures that used to bring comfort, now twisted into reminders of betrayal. Amelia continues talking about weekend plans, while Lucas nods mechanically, unable to escape the memory of those photos. He studies her face, searching for guilt, but all he finds is confidence. Confidence earned from believing her secret is safe. He's sitting across from the woman he loves, yet somehow she already feels miles away by midday. Lucas hopes the nightmare will fade, but instead another email arrives, one that crushes whatever hope still lingered. This time there are screenshots, flirty texts, heart emojis, hotel check-in confirmations, messages filled with longing and intimacy, conversations that should have belonged to him. Lucas steps away from his co-workers and retreats into an empty hallway, gripping his phone like it's burning his hand. His eyes fill with tears he refuses to let fall in public. He feels humiliation, confusion, and grief wrapping around like iron chains. Every memory, their first date, their vows, the nights they held each other, rushes through his mind, suddenly contaminated. The worst part isn't just the cheating. It's realizing how happy she seems without him. The hook ends with Lucas standing alone, breath shaky, phone in hand, wondering if his entire marriage has been a carefully crafted lie. Lucas and Amelia weren't just a couple. They were a lifelong team. They met in college during a rainy freshman orientation day when Amelia forgot her umbrella, and Lucas held his over both of them. From that moment, they became inseparable. They spent late nights studying together, dreaming about the future, a cozy home, meaningful careers, and one day, a family of their own. Their wedding was intimate and beautiful. Handwritten vows, trembling voices, and a promise that real love could survive anything. For years, their life together felt like something out of a movie. Road trips, movie nights, supporting each other's dreams. Whenever Amelia smiled at him, Lucas felt chosen, seen. Everything they built was rooted in love, loyalty, and sacrifice. Nothing in their history ever suggested that betrayal could exist. And that is what makes everything now, the distance, the secrecy, feel so painfully confusing. Today, Lucas and Amelia live in a beautiful suburban home, the kind that reflects years of discipline and partnership. Both have good incomes, and most evenings are quiet and comfortable. But beneath the surface, subtle fractures have formed. For 3 years, they have been trying to have a baby, and every failed pregnancy attempt brought them closer at first, then slowly pushed them apart. Lucas stayed patient and supportive, whispering, "We'll get there someday," while Amelia slowly stopped believing it. Recently, she started a new marketing job, one that demands long hours, late-night work events, and unexplained exhaustion. Lucas has taken over household responsibilities, cooking, laundry, cleaning, not because he's obligated, but because he wants to ease her burden. Still, he can feel her drifting emotionally. They sleep in the same bed, share the same space, but an invisible wall has grown between them. Unspoken and heavy, Lucas's heart aches not only because something is wrong, but because he keeps believing it might be his fault. His best friend Ethan, the only person Lucas confides in, urges him to communicate rather than assume. But Lucas hesitates, terrified of the answer he might hear. Instead of anger, what fills him is self-doubt. If she's unhappy, is it because I failed? Did I stop being enough? He sacrifices more, leaving encouraging notes on the fridge, planning date nights she cancels, cooking her favorite meals even when she comes home too late to eat them. He thinks love means trying harder. He doesn't realize she has already given up. His trauma isn't dramatic, no shouting, no accusations. Only a quiet man breaking in silence. Viewers can't help rooting for him because he isn't vengeful. He's a good man who just wants to be loved back. The third email arrives on quiet Thursday night, just when Lucas dares to hope that maybe the silence meant everything was over. But hope dies the moment he opens the attachment. A video. It shows Amelia with the same man, laughing in the hotel lobby, then following him into a room together, hand in hand. Lucas watches it only once. He doesn't need to replay it to feel the knife twist. His breath is gone, his body heavy. Yet he finally decides he can't stay silent anymore. When Amelia gets home, he gently asks if they can talk. His voice shakes, not from rage but from heartbreak. He shows her the video. Instead of explaining, Amelia bursts into tears, not from guilt but fury. She screams that he's violating her privacy, stalking her, spying on her. Lucas doesn't raise his voice once. Betrayal has already taken all his strength. The night collapses into chaos. Amelia calls Lucas paranoid, controlling, and insecure, twisting his pain into an accusation against him. She refuses to acknowledge the video, insists that he has trust issues, and claims she can't breathe in a marriage where she's monitored. Lucas tries to tell her he just wants the truth, that he still loves her, that the video broke him. But every sentence he speaks makes her angrier. At 3 a.m., she packs a suitcase, slamming drawers and doors, yelling loud enough for neighbors to hear. The next morning, she moves out, not crying, not apologizing, not looking back. She posts online first, shaping the narrative, leaving a toxic marriage where I was constantly accused and controlled. Her family and friends rally around her, praising her strength. Lucas, whose only crime was loving her too deeply, becomes a villain in everyone's eyes. Within days, the story spreads, not the truth but Amelia's version. Friends stop calling. Family members avoid him. People who once admired Lucas now whisper that he was obsessive and emotionally abusive. Photos of the hotel video still sit on his phone, untouched, but he refuses to show them. Not because he's hiding evidence, but because he's ashamed he ever had to look for it. He buries his pain quietly, moving through days like a ghost. His home feels twice as big and 10 times as empty. His depression grows heavy, but he hides it behind forced smiles at work. Then the divorce papers arrive, cold, official, and cruel. He signs them with trembling hands because he can't hold on to a woman who already replaced him. Lucas isn't angry. He's humiliated, abandoned, and suddenly painfully alone. After Amelia leaves, Lucas becomes a shell of the man he once was. His work performance drops sharply. Coding errors, missed meetings, blank stares during presentations. HR suggests therapy, and he agrees only because he has nothing left to fight for. In therapy, he says very little. He never talks about betrayal, only about failure. Meanwhile, Amelia floods social media with perfectly staged photos, smiling at dinners, at rooftop parties, captioned with passive-aggressive positivity. Sometimes you escape negativity and breathe again. Friends whisper that Lucas was controlling one, the insecure husband who pushed a good woman away. Every time he overhears gossip, he shrinks deeper into himself. On the outside, he is quiet. On the inside, he is drowning. Ethan tries to be there for him, checking up, offering support. But Lucas pulls away, ashamed to be seen as pitiful. Even comfort feels undeserved. Just when Lucas thinks life can't get worse, more emails arrive from the anonymous sender. This time, they aren't exposing secrets. They're taunting him. She never loved you. Another arrives later. She belongs to me now. And the third, you should let her go. The sender writes with disturbing confidence, like someone proud of stealing something precious. Lucas reads each message trembling, feeling the sentences burn deeper than the photos or video ever did. Whoever is writing isn't just reporting infidelity. They are reveling in it. The tone is territorial, possessive, almost predatory. Lucas begins to suspect the cheating wasn't spontaneous or emotional. It was calculated, almost like a competition. He starts questioning everything. Was Amelia unhappy or manipulated? Was she in love with this man or taken advantage of? For the first time, his heartbreak mixes with fear and suspicion. Lucas withdraws from the world completely, shutting out Ethan, co-workers, family, everyone. He spends hours rereading the emails, replaying the events in his mind like a puzzle he can't solve. The more he thinks about the sender's language, the more something feels wrong. It doesn't read like empathy for a betrayed husband. It reads like ownership, like the sender is proud of taking Amelia away. There's no apology, no guilt, no justification. Only triumph, as if Lucas losing her was a goal all along. Suddenly, his pain becomes darker and more terrifying. What if this wasn't just an affair? What if Amelia is with someone dangerous? Someone who wanted Lucas isolated. Something in his gut whispers that the betrayal isn't over. It's only beginning. For the first time since this nightmare started, Lucas stops blaming himself and starts searching for the truth. After weeks of silence between them, Ethan shows up at Lucas's door, refusing to give up on his friend. Lucas finally shares the emails, the breakdown, the suspicions building inside him. Ethan, a cybersecurity analyst, decides to help track the sender despite Lucas's reluctance. They dig into metadata, VPN logs, routing history, hours of decoding IP fragments and file signatures. A name finally appears. Nathan Cole, an employee from Amelia's new marketing office. Lucas stares at the screen in disbelief. Someone he has never met. Someone Amelia barely mentioned. Ethan runs a deeper trace and discovers that Nathan was the original sender of the hotel photos and videos. Not a witness exposing the truth, but the very person who orchestrated everything. Lucas's body goes cold. The heartbreak he lived through wasn't just a betrayal. It was a setup. A man deliberately destroyed his marriage for possession. Lucas goes to Amelia's workplace, not for revenge, but for answers. He waits quietly in the parking lot until he sees Nathan walking toward his car. Lucas steps forward, asking why he did it. Nathan doesn't hesitate. No denial, no remorse. With a slow smirk, he answers, "You were just a wall between us. Someone had to remove you." Lucas feels dizzy, sick, realizing the emails weren't sent out of spite. They were trophies. Nathan manipulated Amelia for months, preying on her vulnerability during the baby's struggles, isolating her emotionally, feeding lies about Lucas, staging hotel footage to make her believe she was trapped in an unhappy marriage. As Lucas listens, Amelia arrives outside, freezing mid-step. She hears every word, the smirk, the admission, the cruelty. Her face collapses. The man she trusted engineered the destruction of her marriage from the beginning. Nathan suddenly snaps, his mask slipping. He punches Lucas so hard he hits the pavement. Ethan, rushing over from a distance after following Lucas, calls the police immediately. Nathan charges again, shouting that Lucas never deserved her, but officers arrive before he can land another blow. They pin him down while he screams insults and obsession-driven rants. The arrest exposes everything, his messages, the manipulated media, the psychological game. Amelia drops to her knees beside Lucas, sobbing uncontrollably, begging for forgiveness, shaking violently. She finally understands that Lucas wasn't paranoid. He was hunted, but Lucas doesn't yell at her. He doesn't turn away or take satisfaction in being right. He just lies there, bruised and exhausted, staring at the sky, numb. The woman who broke him is now broken herself, and the man who stole her affection is dragged away in handcuffs. It's over, but nothing feels healed in the weeks following Nathan's arrest. Amelia clings to the hope that the marriage can be salvaged. She shows up unexpectedly, crying, shaking, apologizing, begging Lucas for another chance. She says she was manipulated, that she was weak, that she never meant to hurt him. Lucas listens quietly. He doesn't interrupt, he doesn't blame, and he doesn't mock her pain. But he also doesn't crumble like he once would have. The man who once begged for affection now stands firm in self-worth. He tells her he's not angry anymore, just done. Not because he hates her, but because he finally loves himself enough not to return to someone who broke him. For the first time, Amelia realizes she has lost him not because he's bitter, but because he healed. Her tears don't change anything. Lucas signs the final divorce papers with steady hands, not in revenge, but in freedom. Lucas moves into a small apartment, not luxurious, not impressive, but peaceful. He decorates it slowly, choosing what represents him rather than what fits a couple. His days gain rhythm again. Therapy twice a month, gym sessions in the early morning, cooking meals for himself, learning guitar again, gaming with friends he had pushed aside, long, quiet walks at sunset. Ethan becomes part of a support system rather than a lifeline. Lucas isn't fixed overnight. There are lonely evenings. There are moments when memories sting. But they no longer control him. He learns to enjoy his own company. He smiles again, not as a performance, but because life starts to feel real rather than painful. When Amelia calls, he answers politely but briefly. He doesn't punish her, but he doesn't save her either. His healing no longer depends on anyone else's choices but his own. Meanwhile, Amelia spirals. Her friends grow distant. Work becomes tense. Loneliness hits like a delayed storm. She sees photos of Lucas laughing with friends again, working out, traveling, not flaunting happiness, just living. Her guilt deepens because he didn't become vengeful, he became better. But Lucas doesn't watch her downfall or take satisfaction in it. He simply moves forward. One night, he sits alone on his balcony, watching the city lights. There is no anger left in him, only gratitude for the lesson that nearly destroyed him. Love didn't rescue him. Self-respect did. He whispers to himself, "I'm enough," and smiles, not because life is perfect, but because it's his again. The story doesn't end with dramatic reconciliation or punishment. It ends with something stronger. A man who survived heartbreak and became whole on his own terms. 1 year later. Lucas steps out of the courthouse and pauses at the top of the stairs. The world around him isn't loud. No shouting, no drama, only the soft wind of a late evening brushing against his face. This building once symbolized pain, betrayal, and the collapse of everything he once believed was permanent. Today, it represents closure. His steps are slow, not because he's unsure, but because he wants to feel this moment fully. A full year of healing, therapy, tears, rebuilding, and rediscovering himself has led to this exact second. The divorce isn't a victory. It's a release from a life where he kept shrinking so someone else could shine. As he stands in the golden light of sunset, he realizes something powerful. The past no longer has the ability to break him. Just as he begins walking toward his car, Lucas' phone vibrates. A single message from Amelia appears. A voice from a past life he once felt he couldn't live without. "I hope you're happy now. I never wanted to lose you." For a moment, he stops. His thumb hovers over the screen and his eyes soften, not with longing, but with understanding. He isn't angry and he isn't tempted. He simply recognizes that once upon a time that message would have shattered him, dragging him back into a cycle of guilt and emotional dependency. Now, he sees it clearly. Two people who once loved each other but hurt each other even more. Slowly, without hesitation, he selects the entire conversation thread and deletes it, not to punish her, not to win, but because he no longer needs it to define him. After deleting the message, Lucas pockets his phone, breathes deeply and smiles, not a triumphant grin, but the gentle smile of someone who survived and grew. The parking lot feels different from every other place he's walked this past year. It doesn't feel lonely. It feels open. He walks toward his car unhurried, his posture straight, shoulders no longer carrying the weight of trying to prove he was enough for someone who treated him like he wasn't. The voiceover speaks his truth as the last rays of sunlight catch the side of his face. The hardest part of letting go isn't moving on from someone you loved. It's realizing that you finally love yourself enough not to go back. Lucas drives away not toward a new lover, not toward revenge, but toward a new life. And for the first time, he knows he deserves it.